Clarity of Learning Goals, a project for deepening learning presented by Kiera, Jason, Deborah Ann, and Cindy through Post University EDU609. The design committee collaborated its ideas and strengths to develop a plan to review the K-12 language arts curriculum in the West Pines School District through clarity of learning goals. To lift the project off the ground, it must have earned the support of all participants by combining each of their strategies and actions. To better form this curriculum, educators must understand what it takes to come together and implement such strategies. Fullen and Quinn 2016 shares that coherence consists of the shared depth of understanding about the purpose and nature of the work. Coherence in education is when individuals and ideas come together to achieve a common goal. To be successful, organizations need to have the right drivers to lead the organization, share visions and goals, implement purposeful action and interaction, work on capacity, clarity, precision, or practice, transparency, monitoring of progress, and continuous correction. The design committee team is dedicated to apply coherence into the West Pines School District. This presentation will demonstrate elements of clarity of learning goals while constructing ideas and plans for West Pines School District by seeking a connection to Fullen's coherence framework and application in the setting, seeking to deepen the learning process through clarity of goals, seeking to develop better understandings and learning processes, and seeking to raise questions, overcome challenges, gain support, and discover next steps of the process. There seems to be a lack of focus between the overall goals identified between the West Pines District teachers and parents. Testing results show that students are performing both slightly above and below the state average. Parents indicate that students need to be challenged, but teachers are reporting that the students are not responding to instruction and often need to move on to the next lesson. And students are seemingly not engaged and not being challenged enough to motivate their performance in the classroom. There needs to be more collaborative work among teachers and leaders to achieve these goals. Although highly trained, there seems to be a lack of instructional consistency from classroom to classroom. 6 days of professional development over 2 years seems inadequate. Additionally, the focus seems to be fragmented between direct instruction, positive behavioral interventions and support, social and emotional learning, and technology. There just does not seem to be enough direct instruction for the curriculums. School leaders may be overwhelmed with administrative duties that are preventing them from addressing these issues and might benefit from promoting leadership within their organization. It is important for organizations to have a focused direction. When making decisions that affect large numbers, such as new curriculums for an entire district, it is important for leaders to be focused on a common goal. Leaders will be able to be more purposeful by understanding that people need to see progress within their organizations to continue. Most are not motivated by morals alone, but will work harder for success. Leaders should consider creating environments where this can happen. Leaders have been tasked with carrying our vision into the community, so this will benefit all stakeholders. Leaders will also be able to have more impactful goals by allowing leaders to focus on what is really important. Fullen uses the term initiativitis to describe how often organizations overload staff with too many programs to tackle too many problems all at once. This can be confusing and frustrating for the staff. Having goals that are fewer and more impactful will propel the organization in the right direction in the best possible way. To deepen the learning experience at West Pines, Fullen and Quinn explain that educators must use clear strategies. It is important that leaders have clear strategies to guide changes within the organization. Individuals work both independently and collaboratively, so strategies need to account for each of these needs. Strategies will be the blueprint by which the organization will navigate these changes. Fullen proposes that organizations need to find this intersection of high explicitness and strong ownership if they are to challenge and engage high performance. Educators must also become change leadership. Fullen uses the term shifting practice that describes how environments where there is change may be harder to embrace, and leaders need to manage that change for the benefit of their organization. There are often significant changes that occur which require leaders to manage. Collaborative work is not just about encouraging people to work together. Collaboration means creating an environment that promotes individual growth in addition to organizational growth, where everyone is working towards shared goals that have been clearly defined. West Pines must benefit from promoting growth. Leaders who possess a growth mindset build capacity in others and help them achieve more than they expected of themselves. Leaders can see the potentials in their team. West Pines can also benefit from learning and leadership. Leadership is not about being in high places and positions. It is about elevating team members. In addition, West Pines can benefit from building capacity and building collaborative efforts. This allows team members to work together towards a common goal, and based on the assumptions that other needed steps are accomplished, educators can improve systems that requires everyone shift their practice. In this process, there is a continuous effort for the organization. For the West Pines School District to benefit, it must follow these elements that lay the groundwork for deepening learning and set a path to clarity of learning goals. To accomplish this task, educators must achieve clarity and coherence. Educators must share the same vision and goals, and educators must take risk and foster culture and growth. When a shift of instruction occurs, students are expected to actively participate in their own education while applying their skills and knowledge. These challenges that are envisioned in working with staff is coming to a shared understanding of the importance of clarity of learning goals, because everyone on the team has different perspectives, backgrounds, and differences. Some challenges are to get each team member to be on board with the same ideas and concepts, and for all the members to implement them to avoid having lack of clarity for the result. Confusion can stop production and progress and concentrates on feelings or fears about the transformations, which are hard to break through to get to the heart of the issue. Deepening learning allows educators at West Pines to be reflective of their practices and to give themselves feedback. Meaningful information must be implemented and demonstrated by the teacher to the student so they both can develop an understanding as to what direction they are going and what they are trying to accomplish. Deeper learning can be accomplished by concentrating on authentic learning, communication, and collaboration among all participants. Deepening learning is a set of student educational outcomes including obtaining robust and rigorous core academic content, higher order thinking skills, and learning dispositions. Deeper learning tools provide students with higher order thinking that will allow them to problem solve and raise questions to complete their understanding. Teachers understand where they want to go and how they want to get there, and it helps scholars to understand the focus of what they are learning. Being clear in learning goals allows teachers to work backwards. This enables more accessibility for all students in each lesson. If teachers are not clear on the vision or goal, neither will the students. Deeper learning helps students to connect with the material they are learning and better prepare them to transfer new knowledge into new situations. Additionally, when teachers create higher standards for students and hold them to a higher level, students perform better. But how do we accomplish this? Students need to have a voice in their education. Knowing that their opinions and feelings have been heard makes them feel validated. To enhance their level of critical thinking, students need to have authentic, hands-on experience in the classroom that show that teachers are not the only gatekeepers to knowledge. Additionally, there is a need for a holistic approach to teaching, and to accomplish that, teachers, leaders, and families need to be on the same page regarding expectations and goals for the school. For educators, it is the duty of the instructor to locate, distribute, and drive different materials, technologies, and instruction to help the students better understand the lessons, thus closing achievement gaps among students. For the students, when the students receive instruction from the teacher, it leads them to a goal to reach. This process provides a pathway for the student to retain more of the lesson and understand the what and the why. Additional resources can contribute to West Pines and contribute to the understanding of deep learning. Bradley and Associates Big Picture Learning can engage students in individualized learning experiences, which incorporates deeper learning by focusing on the student's interests and curiosities. West Pines can network with stakeholders, schools, and districts in the transformation of teaching and learning environments. This ensures that the students will have a chance at graduating from their high school with gained knowledge, built relationships, developed skills, and abilities that can help them survive in the real world. Corin's vision is to strategize Common Core state standards to have an impact on clarity of learning goals. West Pines can also follow Corin's lead to deconstruct standards, scaffold and align the curriculum while diving into the possibilities of strengthening assessments. Corin also deals with the challenges of clarity of learning goals as the instructors struggle with the interventions and other obstacles that are performed and thought to be impacting the students in the classroom. Lister focuses on student learning experiences that also incorporates digital elements. These skills are necessary to help schools and students develop deeper learning. The article also promotes the idea of smart learning, which is a method that is not necessarily rooted in the outcome of instruction, but rather focuses on the process of how students learn. West Pines can also follow Younger's lead by exploring several factors that affect student performance, such as hormones, stress, and anxiety within marginalized communities, and also shows how educators need to think about these elements when in the classroom. Younger points out that students need to have strategies to help them in the classroom and ultimately high expectations. Students need to be an active part of the learning process, and they need to take ownership of what they are learning. Why is it important for goals to be clear within West Pines curriculum design? First, let's look at some troublesome causes by Fullen. Fullen states that wherever we go in the world and ask educators what issues they are facing, at the top of the list is confusion and overload, variously expressed as the following: initiative fatigue, ad hoc projects, arbitrary top-down policies, compliance-oriented bureaucratization, silos and fiefdoms everywhere, confusion, distrust, and demoralization. When curriculum goals are not clear, there is not a clear understanding of what teachers need to teach. If teachers cannot express to students what the instruction is about, how are students supposed to understand their learning targets? Curriculum leaders need to implement clear goals to ensure that the curriculum can be followed and the desired results will be achieved. The effectiveness of West Pines curriculum design work needs to correspond with what educators can accomplish, including explicit goals for their students. Explicit goals help both students and teachers. Students can give satisfactory responses when provided with performance goals highlighted throughout their work. When the goals are not understood by the students, teachers cannot be effective on helping the students achieve their targets or desired results. How does the element relate to what is being done in the classroom? Educational leaders should realize that students are not involved in their work and educators are not strong in their instructional planning. Fullen and Quinn 2019 expresses that more professional instruction should be applied and stronger curriculums should be implemented that will motivate and encourage students to learn. The positive outcomes are incorporating more professional development for instruction, getting each educator on the same page to teach consistently, implement better assessments and authentic lessons. Educators can engage in more collaboration. Educators can coordinate with higher administrators or planners. And leaders or educators can release themselves from heavy workloads to delegate or teach. In the West Pine schools, there may be challenges in the clarity of learning goals. There may be a lack of collaboration, teamwork, and clarity, a failure to agree upon consistent instruction to the students, frustration, fear, and negative feelings, independent working instead of interdependent. Students may lack responsiveness to the new instruction. The wrong focus drivers may still be in place, such as technology. Leaders may be too overwhelmed with paperwork to concentrate on planning. And not all designs will work, and educators will go back to the drawing board, and educators are not supported by their peers, district, or higher leader. What supports are needed to drive clarity of goals? West Pine schools need more purposeful and more frequent professional development. Teachers should collaborate with each other and the curriculum team. School leaders should work with the curriculum coordinator and the district to identify ways to help teachers collaborate more within their own schools and throughout the district to find best practices that can be implemented. School curriculum committees or internal mentorship programs must be created to help navigate how to successfully implement curriculum consistently across each classroom in each school. Students should be allowed to collaborate with their peers as well. Working with students to initiate more student choice and to identify how to implement more authentic learning opportunities will help engage and motivate students. Leaders should expand the team to lessen the stress of demands on the leadership team. Leaders can aid in the hiring of professional educators or overcome obstacles with a new course, students, or management responsibilities. By implementing improvement of strategies, leaders can give new data and feedback of educators, and they can draw on the strength of the team to allow teachers to share their experience and best practices. Our next steps to initiate deeper learning within the West Pines district: the curriculum coordinator needs to help build capacity within each school by allowing feedback and questions from the educators, by implementing more professional development programs, by involving all students and parents to participate in their child's motivation and engagement. And the district can survey parents to identify issues that might challenge the students' engagement and motivation. And there might be some underlying information such as demographics, economic or cultural, that is contributing to the students' lack of success and not meeting the teacher's expectations. Educators can also collect learners' profiles to discover more of the students' needs. And by working with the school administrators, they can create individual school curriculum committees. These individuals can work to determine the most effective way to roll out instruction, and the committee will turnkey information to the entire school and help to ensure consistency among classrooms.